Look into those eyes and tell me you don't see a man who is running out of time. The most elective, most powerful, most indestructible force in the history of sports entertainment is fading before our very eyes, and the world is standing still in a state of absolute shock. We have seen him conquer the squared circle, we have seen him dominate the silver screen, and we have seen him sculpt a physique that seemed more like granite than human flesh. But right now, at this very moment, the Great One looks like a ghost of his former self. His face is gaunt, his frame is withering, and the energy that once lit up sold-out stadiums across the globe has flickered out into a haunting, hollow silence. Is this the end of an era, or are we witnessing a legendary sacrifice that might actually cost Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson his life? Stay tuned, because what we are about to uncover is a story of desperation, health scares, and a transformation so brutal it will leave you breathless. Before we dive into the heart of this mystery, I want to take a moment to speak to all of you. We are more than just a channel here, we are a family. We've grown up with these legends, we've cheered them through their highs and cried with them through their lows. If you've ever felt that connection, if you've ever found inspiration in the sweat and blood of the heroes of the ring, I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart to join us. Please hit that subscribe button, leave a comment with your prayers for The Rock, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and hit that notification bell. Your support is the heartbeat of SLAMZONE, and it means the world to us to have you by our side during these intense moments. Imagine the scene. It's a high-stakes interview, the kind where The Rock usually commands the room with a $1,000,000 smile and a charisma that vibrates through the camera lens. But as the lights come up, the atmosphere feels heavy. It feels cold. You can feel the energy in the room shifting from excitement to genuine concern. When you look at his face, the first thing you notice, the thing that hits you like a stone-cold stunner, is how small his head looks. His face has lost that fullness, that Brahma bull intensity that defined a generation. He looks gaunt. He looks like a cancer patient. There are wrinkles where there used to be smooth, powerful features. His eyes, those eyes that used to stare down the likes of Triple H and John Cena, are bugging out of his head. It's a visual that sends a shiver down the spine of every wrestling fan. For decades, we've known The Rock as a 270-pound titan, a man whose chest was so massive it seemed like it would burst through his custom-tailored suits. But look closely at the footage. He's wearing a suit, but there's no shirt underneath. He's showing his cleavage, something he's done 1,000 times, but the musculature isn't there. The pectoral mass? It's gone. It's flat. We are talking about the most famous physique in the world, and there is no pop to the muscle, no cap deltoids, no bulging mass. It's as if the air has been let out of a balloon. You can almost hear the collective gasp of the crowd at ringside if this were a live match. This isn't just weight loss, this is a total physical collapse. The most terrifying part isn't even the physical change, it's the lack of energy. The Rock was always the spark plug. He was the guy who could talk for 20 minutes and have you hanging on every syllable, laughing, cheering, feeling like you could take on the world. But now, he looks like he's struggling just to get through the interview. It's like watching a champion in the 15th round, bloodied and bruised, barely able to keep his hands up. He's no longer his former self. When you're in a massive calorie deficit, your body enters survival mode. Your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis plummets. You don't want to move. You don't want to smile. You don't even have the energy to check your blind spot while driving. This is the struggle we are seeing on his face. This is the heavy price of whatever path he has chosen to walk. Why would he do this? Why would a man who has everything, the money, the fame, the legacy, risk his health and his image in such a terrifying way? The whispers are growing louder. Is he sick? Is it the circumflex artery issue that we heard about years ago, finally catching up to him? Is his heart failing because he pushed the limits of human biology for too long? There are rumors that a cardiologist might have sat him down and delivered a death sentence. Rock, you can't abuse the gear forever. If you don't stop, you won't see your next birthday. But there's another theory, one that is just as intense. It's the method actor theory. The Rock has seen the praise that actors like Christian Bale and Shia LaBeouf receive for destroying their bodies for a role. He's seen Bale drop down to 120 pounds for The Machinist, looking like a skeleton, only to bulk back up to Batman months later. Perhaps The Rock is starving for a different kind of admiration. He's no longer content being the action hero. He wants to be taken seriously as a quality actor. He's playing the role of the chicken man, an elderly man in his 70s whose only friend is a chicken. You can't play a frail, 70-year-old man if you look like you could bench press a semi-truck. And so, he has reportedly cut out the protein, cut out the calories, and is purposely wasting away. But at 53 years old, can your body handle that kind of abuse? This isn't a game. This is where legends are made, but it's also where they are broken. When you stop the performance-enhancing drugs that have supported that much muscle for that long, the crash is catastrophic. We've seen it with others. We saw it with Cali Muscle, a man who built a career on being a mountain of meat, only to suffer a heart attack and pivot to a watermelon diet, losing every ounce of his size. Is The Rock following that same haunted trail? Is he so desperate for a blockbuster hit after the disappointment of Black Adam that he's willing to starve himself into a hospital bed? The fans are terrified. The comments sections are a sea of worry. People are saying he looks 80 years old. They're saying there's pain in his eyes. It's an emotional weight that hangs over the entire wrestling community. We want our hero back. We want the smiling, motivating, larger-than-life figure that told us to just bring it. But right now, it looks like he's given everything he has, and there's nothing left in the tank. This is the reality of the business. This is the dark side of Hollywood. This is a transformation that feels more like a tragedy than a triumph. Just taking a quick break here, family. If this breakdown is hitting home, please take a second to hit that like button, subscribe to SLAMZONE, and join the family for more intense wrestling and legend breakdowns every single week. We need your voice in the comments. What do you think is really happening to The Rock? The tension continues to build as we look at the timeline. Only a few months ago, he was at WrestleMania 40, looking like a god among men. He was the final boss. He was thick, powerful, and intimidating. How does a man go from that to looking emaciated in such a short window? That kind of muscle loss doesn't happen naturally. Even if you stop taking the gear, you don't lose 60 pounds of pure muscle in weeks unless you are actively starving yourself. It's a physiological war. Your body wants to hold onto that muscle, but if you deny it protein, if you deny it calories, it starts to eat itself. It's a grisly process. And let's talk about the Ozempic rumors. We've seen the Ozempic face trend taking over Hollywood. People losing weight so fast their skin can't keep up, leaving them looking hollowed out and aged. Is it possible The Rock is using these new age weight loss drugs to hit his goal for the movie? The problem is, when you use those drugs at high doses and don't eat, you lose 2/3 of your weight from muscle, not fat. For a man who has spent 30 years building a temple of muscle, watching it crumble must be a psychological nightmare. You can see it in his speech. He's not as sharp. He's not as fast. He's acting like a frail old man because, internally, he might be feeling like one. When your calories are that low, your brain doesn't fire the same way. The wit is gone. The spark is gone. He's trying to be a method actor, but he might be method acting himself into an early grave. Think about the physical toll of being The Rock. The years of football, the years of professional wrestling, the thousands of bumps, the grueling 4 a.m. workouts. His heart has been pumping blood to a 270-pound frame for decades. That is a lot of stress. If he suddenly crashed his system, the internal organs might be struggling to adapt. The irony is incredible. We've seen Hussein stop his cycles and put on weight, but The Rock stops and loses the equivalent of a small human being. It shows the difference in genetics and the difference in the cocktails these guys use. But beyond the science, there is the human element. Dwayne Johnson is a father, a husband, a mogul. He is the face of multiple brands. If he looks like this, the brands suffer. The image suffers. He is so desperate to please his fans, so desperate for that Academy Award level of respect, that he's willing to look like a slender pencil. Some people are saying Large Rock is done. They think the age of the superhero physique is over for him and he's transitioning into his serious actor phase for the long haul. But can we accept a world where The Rock isn't The Rock? It's like seeing Superman without his cape or Stone Cold without the beer. It feels wrong. It feels like a glitch in the Matrix. What a moment we are living through. We are watching a man who redefined what it meant to be a superstar, now redefining what it means to wither away. Think back to the great ones who came before. Think about the legends who didn't know when to quit, or the ones who changed so much they became unrecognizable. We saw it with Lex Luger, we saw it with Scott Hall. But this is different. This is the biggest star in the world doing it to himself. If it's for a movie, we have to ask, is any movie worth this? Is a golden statue on a mantle worth looking into the mirror and seeing a stranger staring back? His delts used to be capped like cannonballs. Now, they're sloped and thin. His neck, which used to be a pillar of strength, looks fragile. Even the way he sits in the chair, it's not with the posture of a king, it's with the posture of a man who is exhausted. He's trying to tell us he's fine. He's trying to tell us it's all for the craft. But the body doesn't lie. The skin doesn't lie. Those wrinkles are the map of a man who is pushing himself past the breaking point. And what about the Chicken Man role itself? The story of an elderly man and his chicken. It sounds like a departure from anything he's ever done. It sounds like a project born out of a midlife crisis of identity. I don't want to be the guy who punches people anymore. I want to be the guy who makes you cry. But in the process of making us cry on screen, he's making us worry in real life. We've seen actors go to extremes before. We saw Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. We saw Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club. They all looked sickly. They all looked like they were on the verge of collapse, but they were younger. They didn't have the history of ped use that The Rock has. That's the X factor here. That's the ticking time bomb. You can't compare a natural actor losing weight to a lifelong enhanced athlete crashing their hormones and their caloric intake simultaneously. That is a recipe for a medical emergency. Is he sick? Maybe not in the way we think. Maybe it's not cancer. But he is definitely sick in the sense that his body is in a state of extreme distress. He is starving. He is dehydrated. He is hormonally depleted. And he is doing it all under the glaring lights of the public eye. Every time he posts a video now, people aren't looking at the product he's selling, they're looking at his jawline. They're looking at his collarbones. They're looking for signs of life. This is where the story gets truly intense. If he finishes this movie and tries to bulk back up, what happens then? Can a 54 or 55-year-old heart handle the rapid weight gain? Can he go back to being 270 pounds of muscle without blowing out a valve? The road back might be even more dangerous than the road down. He's trapped in a cycle of physical extremes that would break a man half his age. We have to pray for The Rock. We have to hope that he has the best doctors in the world watching his every move. Because right now, the Brahma Bull looks like he's headed for the slaughterhouse. It's a visual that we never thought we'd see. It's a moment that reminds us all that even the gods of the ring are human. Even the most powerful men on earth are subject to the laws of biology. As we look at the final images of this recent interview, you see him try to give that classic Rock smirk. It's there for a second, a flash of the old brilliance, but it doesn't reach his eyes. The eyes remain hollow. The eyes remain tired. It's a heartbreak for every fan who grew up with a Team Bring It shirt. We are witnessing the most dangerous match of his career, and his opponent is his own ambition. Will he fill out again? Will he return to the final boss that we saw just months ago? Or is this the new reality? Is Slender Rock here to stay? Only time will tell, but the clock is ticking, and the world is watching with bated breath. This is the drama of real life, and it's more intense than any storyline the WWE could ever dream up. Thank you all for being part of this journey today. This was a heavy one, but it's a conversation we had to have. Before you go, one last reminder: hit that like button, subscribe to SLAMZONE, and join our family. We need your support to keep bringing you these deep dives into the lives of the legends we love. Comment below: do you think The Rock is doing this for a role, or is there something more serious going on? We want to hear from you. Hit the bell so you never miss an update. We are SLAMZONE, and we will see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, stay strong, and keep the faith. Peace.